Good morning, Kim Bronson.
Good morning, Tyler, Tyler Crop.
Let's see.
So is that the thing is you do 12 noon? Is that like the current trend
Like, what do you mean?
for time? Instead of 12 p.m., you do 12 noon?
Oh, well, I don't know if you're up at 12
Cool.
a.m.
My generation didn't do that. I'm like, oh, is that what I need to do to be cool and trendy?
That's funny.
No, I'm dead serious. You're like, oh, you're so funny. You're so old and
Whatever.
cute. There's a familiar face. Hey, hey.
Kim, can you see my presentation and screen all right? I just do it
Yep,
like this.
that looks good.
Cool. Welcome, everybody. We've got some people joining here. Welcome, welcome. So, Kim, do you have any funny jokes to kick off the morning?
I think the funniest joke is I just want you to know I have internet and I'm at Fort Hall.
Hey, nice.
That's the joke of the morning. So the joke could be if it goes out halfway through. Yeah. I'm not witty enough in the mornings.
Just have the accent, though. That counts.
Okay, that's true. Very, very true.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get started.
I love seeing all these new names to the Home and Garden Show. See some
Mhm.
familiar returnees, but then some great new people joining us this year. Making new friends. Ooh, I see Jordan. Jordan, do you want some stage time? See if he unmutes his microphone. We do happen to have a vendor who is a
Hello.
fabulous
Hey,
singer,
Jordan.
just so you know. Oh, see, there he is. What do you say?
Oh my goodness. It's been a minute.
Yeah. But I see you and I go, how can I not give you a microphone and an input?
If you need it, I'm willing. I'll say that.
Okay, then let's do it. You are so good. If you can leave the booth, if you can have someone covering for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a couple of guys there.
Okay, then plan it. Do, put together like a 30-minute set. Showcasing our talented vendors. Now
Multi-talent.
watch other vendors say, I'm an axe thrower. Can I get some stage time? But that would be good. Okay, I'll reach out to you, Jordan. I'll find a space and then to plan it.
All right, guys, let's do one more minute just in case, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
And we understand there's conflicts with work and personal schedules. And so Tyler and I talked, we can do this another time. For vendors that weren't able to join us today, just so everybody's on the same page. We want this to be as smooth of an experience as possible for you vendors. And some of you may have some questions with us changing locations to the Mountain America Center. We're thrilled to be working with them. So we'll hit this one today, and then we can do another one as we get closer. If maybe you even have more questions, and especially for those vendors who were not able to join us today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are automatically recording this presentation as well, Kim, so we'll send it out to everybody, and then
That's
yeah, we'll
great.
do a couple more
Great
sessions.
idea.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I say we've got a pretty good attendance here. Welcome, everybody. This is our first kind of virtual kickoff for vendors for the East Idaho Home and Garden Show. My name's Tyler Kropp. I'm the CEO and founder of Good Company Home Loans. I'm actually a mortgage lender here based in Idaho Falls that services all of Idaho and Utah, and have known Miss Kim Bronson for quite a few years, and we've collaborated on quite a few community projects here in Eastern Idaho throughout the years, and we felt it was important to collaborate and bring back this.
I'm sorry, is he freezing for anybody else, or is that just me? He froze for everybody else too? Okay.
Oh, I did? How about now? Can you hear me? Kim, I'm gonna
Yep.
let you take over.
You are freezing, Tyler.
Okay.
Yeah, so what he was talking about was our fabulous partnership. We've been working together for years, and it's really lovely. Tyler has an extensive background in marketing and business management. He owns a good company in Idaho Falls. A lot of you are going to work with him personally at this event, and you're going to love the expertise and the foundation Tyler brings to this show. Many of you know me from being operations. I've been in the event planning, talent agency industry for a very, very long time. And so on this call, we have representatives of Mountain America Center that will be here to help us understand how this new location will work. But that gives a little bit of the background of you'll see Tyler and I, and you're going to see a lot of Tyler's crew walking around from Goodco, and you'll see a lot of my crew from Elite walking around. So Tyler does a lot of business management. I do a lot of the operations management. We've got some important information we want to share with you on the actual event, which is going to be held Friday, Saturday, April 19th and 20th. You can see on your screen if you're not driving. 19th, it's from noon to 8. Saturday, it is from 9 a.m. until 5. Our admission is $5 per person. 12 and under are free. There'll be many locations around town that will be selling tickets for the show as well. We're on Eventbrite, as well as Mountain America Center is helping us.
Kim,
so
can you hear
that
me?
a little background. Tyler, we can hear you now, so go ahead.
I'll just cut my video to save on internet space. Awesome. Yeah, so we'll just go through a couple things here really quick. Like Kim mentioned, Friday, April 9th, 12 to noon to 8 p.m. Saturday, April 20th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is $5, and individuals 12 and under are free. A couple people that I wanted to highlight, just so that you guys can kind of see the involvement within the community. That quote there on the right-hand side, I think, really sums up, bringing back the Home and Garden Show post-COVID and utilizing our new facilities here in Eastern Idaho. Kelsey Salisbury is the director of marketing for Mountain America Center, and when Kim and I brought this idea to her, it just seemed like a natural, organic fit, for all parties involved. So with that, we have, like I mentioned, Goodco is a mortgage lender here in Idaho Falls. That new gold logo, you hopefully have seen it around town. If not, we're trying to get our name out there as best we can. Our official banking partner for the show is Frontier Credit Union. They are going to help us with some of the operations and funding. Additional sponsors for the event, Silver Star Communications, MDS Homes, Get Found First, and Teton Auto Group, so Teton Toyota as well as Teton Volkswagen. So we have some really good community partners, as well as a couple others that are just finishing up to be able to join us. So we're super excited to have those high-level community partners. Kim, I'll turn it back over to you to talk a few vendor logistic details.
Yeah, and here's just some things you're going to want to know as you prepare for the event. There will be a vendor check-in that will take place on Thursday, April 18th. That's going to take place from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. For those of you coming in from out of town who feel like you don't need that much time and you don't want to come in the night before, we will have 2 hours Friday morning from 8 to 10, but all vendors must be set up by 11 o'clock a.m. on Friday. There will be a mandatory vendor meeting at the stage Friday at 11 o'clock a.m., fully set up. Vendors who have large booths, you tend to know who you are, and large items, you will be assigned a specific load in time. We'll reach out to you individually, set up a personal time where you are coming in with your large trucks, gear, so it does not slow down the smaller booth process, which tends to dominate the show. We have a lot of 10 by 10s, but we do have a lot of, you have pools, you have tractors. Just have typical sheds for an outdoor show, for a home and garden show. So plan that definitely to be there by that 11 o'clock a.m. So if you set up Friday, do not worry, there is security. So often a lot of vendors know how to cover their items. They'll cover it just, to feel like it's safe and protected, but there will be full-time security. You can leave your items, come back Friday. So just make sure on Friday you're there to uncover, have your booth ready, and be over to the stage at 11 o'clock. Breakdown will take place immediately after the show on Saturday at 5 o'clock p.m. There's absolutely no early breakdowns. We're not going to, even if it gets a little slower traffic, we're not going to block other vendors who do have customers or that flow of traffic, right? You're going to sit there, smile, chat with everybody at 5. Once consumers leave, then we will open up those loading doors and we will start unloading and breaking down. So any questions that you have regarding that information? Okay. Other important information is be creative on your booth. A lot of people, what we guarantee is we'll guarantee people coming in that door. But what we can't guarantee is people coming to your booth and stopping. That's your responsibility. So the more creative you get in your presentation and your interactions with the consumers, it's going to help them engage and stop at your booth. So the aesthetics, the colors, it's really hard for 2 days to sit at a show sometimes. And we want to sit in the back of the booth. And sometimes we get on our phones and our computers. You want to engage with traffic, you need to not be on your phones, on your computers. You need to be at the front of that booth, have something interactive happening, have a game, have a display, be talking to everybody who walks by. Your feet will hurt, but that's how you interact. Many years, we just will have people. It wasn't a good year for us, but I can tell you honestly, we walk around and we'll see those that are sitting in the back of the booth on their phone. And people they'll come in and look, but they're not going to engage. The other idea we have is try not to block the front of your booth. Have that front of your booth open. It's easy to want to sometimes put that table in the front. If you do put that table in the front, make sure there's access around it to come into your booth. If you block them off, they will just walk that aisleway and not enter the booth. You set that table towards the back of the booth, they're more apt to walk inside and loop. Just a thought, depending on how your display is and the size of that booth. Games are encouraged, giveaways are encouraged, information for the public. Those are all things that will make your booth more interactive and fun. If you have questions, you need ideas, reach out to us and we can share some of that with you. Vendors are going to use, now some of you will have been to the Mountain America Center already. Some of you may not be. We'll send this out in written form as well, but you are going to enter in entry 2 for the show. The staff will monitor your passes as you come out, in and out. But that way, that's where you're going to park to not block a lot of the public parking. We like the vendors to be in a different lot and use a different entrance. So again, remember, you'll be at entry 2, and that's where you'll park. If you come in with heavy trailers, heavy loads, we're going to have you go to the north side parking lot. And again, to not block the public and those consumers that we want at our event. If they have a hard time parking, they leave. We want them to have the best accessibility. We're going to pull you towards that north parking lot, okay? Again, we'll provide maps for you, and all this will be available at vendor check-in. Some opportunities we have today, we have representatives from Mountain America on this call with us. And so some of those details, we're going to have them share with you, just logistics. If you have something to write down with right now, you might want to write some of these ideas, unless you think, okay, I think I should be able to remember. I want you to remember, our vendors are sold out. This is a sold out show right now for vendor space. If anybody is interested, if you talk to someone, they say, oh, we'd like to be in the show, we can put them on a waiting list. Emergencies happen. Vendors sometimes can't get away from their shops. If that happens, we can pull up a waiting list and give them a spot. But with that, let's turn our attention to Andy. Andy, will you share with our vendors just some great detail logistics that they need to know at your venue?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, Kimberly, for allowing us to be here and to discuss some of these things. Just going into the logistics, guys, there are just some things that we need to make sure that we absolutely do not have in the venue. It helps us per fire code, but also helps us in keeping those things out of the building that aren't supposed to. First and foremost, vendors and or any staff or anybody that is working for the event that day is not allowed to bring any outside food or drink. That's something that is included in the contract. The outside food and drink is important because we do have a food vendor in the building that is supplying food at concession stands. We want to make sure that none of that is brought in the building. If you are a food vendor in that your product that you are showing is a particular food, like spices or something to that extent, you can have samples. We just don't want you selling full-fledged meals to the individuals that are coming, because again, we have staff here that will accommodate those meals. So you and your and your wares should be aware that you're not selling full-fledged things to individuals unless it's wrapped, sealed, and they're taking it away from the venue. The other thing to keep in mind is, we're not saying that you can't have a small bowl of candy there to attract people to take a piece of candy while you're sitting there and talking. Again, we just don't want you bringing in the Subway sandwiches for lunch or the pizza. Had boxes of pizza delivered to our door, and we've had to turn them away because we don't allow that outside food or drink material. Some of the things to be aware of as a vendor that you're probably used to in some of the other locations that are not permitted within our building are helium balloons. If helium balloons get up into our into the ceiling for some reason or the other, and they bump some of our fire systems, we could find ourselves in a very sticky situation. So please do not bring helium balloons in the building. If they are just a standard air-blown balloon and you're using them for some sort of display, that's fine. But please, 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 no helium balloons. The other thing is no canopies. The canopies that are in our if you have a canopy in the building, it is against the current fire code. So we can't have any canopies in the building. Our strong suggestion is using some kind of backdrop. Those seem to be very popular and are very, attractive to the eye. So use those instead. We also ask that as a venue, we have a prohibited items list. I'm going to put that together and send it to Kimberly and Tyler, and they are going to send that out to you guys. But there are some things that we ask that you don't even use as a giveaway. For example, water bottles. Water bottles are against our policy here at the venue. We don't want people bringing water bottles in because we want to sell the general public water bottles. Now, you as a vendor, if you're bringing in your personal water bottle to drink throughout the day while you're there, that's fine. But we just don't want you to be handing out water bottles or things like that, because again, we've got concession stands open that we want to provide to them, as well as we ask that and this doesn't sound like it's been an issue in speaking with Kimberly and Tyler on this, but please no knives of any kind or pepper spray or anything that should be sold at the venue. We had an issue recently where someone was doing that, and we had to ask them to take all that down. We don't want to do that for you guys. Brennan, do you think I'm leaving anything out here that I should be touching on?
And likewise with Megan. Megan, is there anything that you wanted to add from food and beverage?
Yeah, so I mean, Andy covered most of it. The whole point is for us to generate enough sales to make it worth our concession stands being open, which is always typically a little tricky in some of these environments. But I mean, that's the whole point. Our food is really good. I hope we can pass that along. If there's any dietary restrictions, y'all feel free to reach out. We can definitely make something happen. But I mean, all in all, it's just making sure that it makes sense for us to stay open. And that's why we have such policies as in outside water bottles coming in. Now it's fine if you bring your Stanley cup and want to fill that up as a vendor. but the general public will not be allowed to bring any of that stuff in. So yeah, I mean, Andy pretty much covered most of it, but we look forward to having y'all. And if you do have any questions, food and beverage related, let me know. If there's any outside products, such as, I know we probably won't be raffling any alcohol or stuff like that, but any of that outside stuff does have to have permitting. So just to keep everybody safe, if you all have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to pass that application along that goes through the Idaho Alcohol Beverage Control.
Sorry about that.
The other thing that,
I have a little
there you are,
problem.
Brandon, go ahead.
Yep. So Andy, you did cover pretty much all of it for the prohibited items. Just the request we have from the venue is that anybody bringing any kind of plants would avoid watering them out on our arena floor. Reason being, we are doing this event over ice, and there are some gaps in that floor. Even though it's a tight, secure floor to walk on, liquid can find its way through and get onto the ice, and that can cause us some problems. So if you're needing to do any watering, we just ask that you take it outside of the building and bring it back in. And for anybody who is using equipment to load things in, such as a shed, anything heavy, we just need you to reach out and let us know what kind of vehicle you're using. That way we can make sure that it's something that's friendly to our building. You know, something with steel tracks is not something we're going to be able to allow to come and drive through the concrete back house and then onto our ice decking, because that would tear it up. And the last thing is anybody using equipment to load in just needs to provide us the proper certifications for somebody who's using that equipment. So if it's a forklift, simply their forklift certification card. That way we can make sure everybody who's in using that equipment is properly trained and we keep a safe environment for everybody. And I think that's about all I have.
I
Brandon,
got one
would you
more
also-
thing in relation to like if people are bringing in a shed or any type of covered, you know, platform to that degree, we need to make sure that those individuals are getting a fire permit directly from Idaho Falls Fire, and each vendor will be responsible for their each individual booth's permit. That's something that you'll want to reach directly out to Idaho Falls Fire about. And we will need to see that before those items are loaded into the building.
Perfect. That was what I was going to add on. So thank you. Do any of our vendors have a question while we have staffing from our venue on this call with us? Any questions for them that maybe could pertain to your booth or your company?
I got a quick question about which items would need a fire permit. I'm unfamiliar with that.
Yeah, so anything that has that, so recently we found that even to the degree of canopies in the building that are covering the floor from the sprinkler system have to be permitted by the fire company. So what we've said is we prefer that no canopies are in the building because you would have to get permitted. So basically anything that is big enough that it can't be immediately removed and or is covering the fire area. You know, I would say that one of those exclusions is like the hot tubs that are coming in. You wouldn't need a permit for the hot tubs, but like a shed would definitely need a fire permit to be in the building. Something else that like an example too is like when we have our RV shows, those RVs they come in and are needed to be permitted to be in the building because again, they're something that's stationary, cannot easily be moved.
So I do have one question on top of that. Anything set up outside would not need a fire permit, is that correct?
That is correct. As long as you're outside and there's enough space away from the building, looks like you're wanting to put up a pergola. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
We'll probably do sheds out there.
Okay, great. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then what was the decision on side-by-sides on sports utility vehicles?
We should be fine on side by sides.
Great. Any other questions?
So like an easy up, that would be considered a canopy, something that you could.
Yeah, and again, we're strongly discouraging them. There's twofold to that. Number one is the fire code, but also the space that it takes up on the floor. Those easy ups, we strongly suggest not having, because again, they're against fire code. You can go out and get a permit for them, but it's almost not worth it for you to do the permit versus doing like a backdrop.
Well, how big are the spaces? Aren't the spaces at least 10 by 10?
Yeah, and the thing is I'm not discouraging that more so than I am because of the fire permitting.
Right.
And Kim, we have a chat for how about a pergola there, Andy?
A pergola would need a permit if it was in the building.
Perfect. Thank you.
Saw a question about electrical that just popped up. Brennan, are you still here?
Yes.
Someone asked about electric to each one of the.
Yes, I see that question. That's not something that I have details on yet, but I know Kimberly's been working on that and will take care of whatever she needs for the event.
Yeah, as long as you put that you need electricity at your event, that is marked in your spot to the electrician there at the Mountain America Center, and they will make sure there is a drop at your booth space. However, we did discuss yesterday, if you need a higher voltage, we're going to need to have that information of what's necessary for your individual business. And so let us know, Todd, if you have a special request outside just a normal 110, or what are the normal drops? I'm assuming that's it there at the Mountain America Center. So if you need something more than that, Todd, let us know and we can speak directly with their electrician. Okay. The only other thing I was going to share is when we meet, we will have vendor bounce backs. And some of you this year, we had to assign booths according to a lot of the electrical and those large load ends. But with the bounce back next year, if you do that before our show ends, at the end of the show this year, then you can select your booth next year. Some of you will be on the arena floor. Some of you will be on the concourse. And you can still have electricity on that concourse. There still will be great signage. So there will be great flow throughout the entire venue. But I understand that need of some of you wanting to select your own space and where you want to be next year at this first show. Grab us before you leave and we can get you a bounce back offer with a discount, and then you can choose your location. So Advent, if you have not already provided a credit card to Tyler in your registration, when you check in, you need to have a credit card with you for incidentals. We'll gather that either prior to the show or upon check-in. So make sure you have that with you. Some fun things we're going to do this year. There's going to be a vendor mixer Friday night, 8:15 upstairs in the lounge. And so that's going to be really fun. We'll have food, we'll have games. And then we talked about the forklift. That's good. When you are, as a vendor, when you are walking around the venue, make sure that you have your credentials on so you can get in and out of those exits smoothly. Do not share your credentials with somebody else, even if your husband, wife, mother, brother, sister want to come visit you. Our staff will recognize you. It's an intimate show, so they're going to know who you are. So we need you to have your own lanyard on. 2 lanyards will be provided per each booth. If you need more, you'll need to let us know. And we can make those arrangements with you. Okay, I think we did talk about the entrance exits. You're going to use this entry number 2, and you will park near entry 2 or in the north parking lot. Those maps will be provided again at check-in and prior to the show for you.
Awesome. So I'll jump back in here, Kim, just to kind of put a note on the fire certification requirements. We do have a contact at the Idaho Falls Fire Department. She did send us the online application as well as a point of contact to apply for those. So we'll go ahead and put that in our follow-up messaging, and emails so that you guys can have that information if you need it. So shifting gears away from the show, but instead focusing on some of the marketing initiatives that we're implementing for the show. That's kind of my role and goal of the show, is to really make sure that we have ample foot traffic, and we're really driving that value to you guys as a vendor. So we budgeted about $18,000 on actual paid advertising to promote this event. That doesn't include the in-kind trades that we have with some of the local organizations. So there's going to be quite a bit of paid advertising and awareness for this event in the community. Almost 10,000 of that is going to be on Facebook and Instagram, as well as some interesting TikTok campaign ads here locally. So we'll really be driving all of the demographics and audiences that we want to target for this event. We're doing 2 large live radio giveaways, ticket giveaways, as well as kind of raffle giveaways prior to the event. One of those is going to be at Teton Auto Group, and the other is at Frontier Credit Union, one of their branches here in Eastern Idaho. So you guys should look out for those, and you'll be receiving emails if anybody would like to attend, join, or be involved in those. We have $7,000 in digital and traditional radio starting probably the second week of March leading up to the event. So we'll be actively marketing this event on Spotify, Pandora, as well as our traditional radio. So leveraging all of the touch points, both modern and kind of community awareness. So we'll have awareness ads starting on East Idaho News, starting about 2-3 weeks out from the show, as well as a 24-hour East Idaho News website takeover the day before the event. So basically our ads will be all over their website and featured for 24 hours. And they've let us know that that's over 100,000 unique impressions to their website for that day. So we're really excited for those partnerships. You'll notice updated digital billboards throughout Snake River Landing in March and April. If you guys drive through, attend any of the Spud King games at Mountain America Center, or any of the concerts that are coming, to the venue here shortly and between now and April. Those digital billboards will also run throughout the Mountain America Center, as well as kind of the concourse area and the ice rink or the stage, all of those places within the actual facility. So we're getting tons of eyeballs on this event, really just to drive value and drive that return on investment for you guys as vendors. We will be placing traditional ads in Idaho Falls Magazine, as well as Post Register and a couple other news outlets. So be watching for those, and really, again, just all of the necessary community touch points to drive as many people to attend this event as possible. We have our printed posters in progress right now, and Kim's team is going to be plastering the communities and all of the local business owners to put up those posters. All the restaurants, bars, gyms, all the places that people frequent. So if any of you vendors want any copies of those printed posters, just let us know, and we'd be happy to get some of those out to you. And then lastly, in terms of TV, we will be running TV ads on all local news channels here in the region for about 4 weeks leading up to the event. So again, all of our community demographic to really fill out this event and make it a huge win for everybody. The last marketing initiative that I did want to share is East Idaho Home and Garden is going to have a very large presence at the PBR Rodeo. The PBR Rodeo is the week before the Home and Garden Show, so April 12th and 13th at the Mountain America Center. They're going to be calling out the event for the 2 days with their entertainer. They'll have all of the ribbon and video boards running our ads, ticket giveaways, really just that last final push to let people know at the event venue that there's an event happening the next week and that they should come back. We'll also be selling tickets at that PBR event as well, and that event has been sold out and is a pretty large event coming to the community. So we're going to have some good foot traffic there. Kim, anything you wanted to mention with marketing before we shift gears?
No, I love it. And like we said, we're going to spend a lot of money on marketing. And I can't say this enough. We will drive traffic through those doors. You have to get them to your booth. We will have a lot of people at this show. So emphasize again, make your booth fantastic that they want to stop and talk to you.
Yeah, and so that's my background in marketing, especially as kind of a community marketer. I wanted to offer a couple additional opportunities for you guys just to be aware of. As we have your vendor foot traffic, there's also other kind of secondary ways to get your brand engaged with the community and reach that awareness level. If you guys have any interest, we're offering this just to our vendors at discounted pricing compared to our community sponsors that don't have vendor spots. They're charged different pricing. We want to help see all small business owners succeed. So there's two opportunities the 2 days of the event that I would really highly strongly consider if you guys are really looking for some brand takeover and some kind of continued just community awareness. Number one is that program advertisement. So we will be printing 5,000 programs that will be handed out to attendees at the door. So imagine if you guys are local, imagine the program that you receive at the 4th of July parade, or the programs that you receive at the Eastern Idaho Parade of Homes. We'll be deploying that same advertising strategy and that same marketing strategy. So that program will have all of your vendor booth information, that'll have a map of the venue, and really the rest of it will just be filled with full page program ads of your business. So if you want to stand out that much more, I'd really recommend considering that program ad. And because we have a strong marketing background on the committee that's putting together this event, if you guys need help with designing that ad and placing it in the program, we'll do that for you at no cost. So we can organize your photos, your logos, your content, and really put that together for you guys. The second element that we have is the Mountain America Center has some of the most state-of-the-art kind of video, audio technology features, for an event space here in the community. And they're allowing us to use their entire ribbon boards as well as their video boards throughout the facility for the 2 days. That includes the TVs on the concourse, restrooms, by the concessions, by the bars, as well as the big TVs on the actual floor. So we are selling ad space on those video boards and that ribbon board if you have any interest. I actually have a photo here. I'll kind of pop over, but you can see within the actual event facility, you can see those large video boards as well as those ribbon boards. So if you want any of your attendees, the masses that come through the event space to be able to see your advertising and kind of brand awareness that much more, we can put custom advertisements as well as your guys' logos and materials on those video boards. So that's running $9.95 for the 2 days of the show if you guys are interested in that. And then the last thing here is just the bundle. We just decided to bundle. If you have any interest in the program printed ad as well as the video board, we can bundle those for a lower discounted price. And on top of that, if you were to bundle it, Kim and I are comfortable sharing the attendees registration list for anybody that registers online through our event platform. So really just another additional way to follow up with those warm leads, let them know that you appreciate them stopping by your booth, and possibly get some additional deals from that attendees list. So again, yeah, just to recap, here's the event facility and those video boards if you're interested. We'll have a registration link at the end of this presentation for anybody interested in taking those spots before we open it up to the rest of the community. But we wanted vendors to have the first right and lower pricing. The last thing that we negotiated for you guys, we know a lot of you guys are coming in from out of state. So we do have a partnership set up with the Sleep Inn and Suites. It's a local hotel here that's about, I would say 120 seconds away from the event facility, just one road up the street, right off the highway. We've pre-negotiated hotel rates for anybody that needs to stay for those nights. They are giving us the wonderful rate of $139 for a single for each night, or $144 for double beds. So anybody interested in traveling, and they have some mega large parking lots as well if you guys need to park anything out there or have that be kind of command central for the show. Kim, if you wanted to chat about this one a little bit, we will have extra hands on site if you guys need additional management with booth setup and tear down. A lot of solopreneurs and business owners may need that extra help.
That's exactly right. Some of you are traveling from out of town and you're traveling solo and you would like some hands to help you set up and break down or even help run the booth. We can have floor models, we can have muscle. Let us know if you have some specific needs and we can try to fill that here locally for you. Tyler, there's also a question regarding advertising. RoofMax is asking, how often would the video run on those boards?
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be a steady, continuous running loop throughout the entirety of the show. So I would imagine, depending on how many people we have sign up, your ad could be seen, 10 to 15 times per hour, I would imagine. It's tough to put on a hardcore number, but I would imagine that you're going to get some good engagement with that ad over the 2 days. It's same with the ribbon boards, the ribbon banners that we have within the facility as well. Those are really kind of cool too to be able to leverage those. Yeah, so I can open up this chat here, but yeah, so that's kind of the presentation that we had, Kim. Here's the link, and I'll send this out as a follow-up of this call. But if you go to vip.goodcobroker.com, again, that's my parent company and day job, Good Company Home Loans. But if you go to vip.goodcobroker.com, that will allow you to put in any of your information if you have any interest purchasing those ads, getting some extra assistance for booths, as well as saving your spots for those hotel rooms. Yeah, Kim, any other thoughts or questions? We can I can open up this chat and we can make sure we're up to date here.
Yeah, what I want everyone to know is Tyler and I are very approachable. We want you to succeed. We truly do see this as a community family. And we know many of you are coming in from out of state, some are local. But just know we're approachable. Contact us, whether phone call, text, email, and I will tell you, if we can do it, we will do it for you. We're flexible. We want to see you succeed. That it truly is a priority to us to have that good relationship from planner to vendor, that you feel heard, you feel understood, and that we can represent you well. So I know you're going to probably have a lot of questions. Some of you might have thought some now, some of you are going to think of questions as soon as we hang up. Reach out and let us know how we can help serve you.
Awesome. Well, Kim, thanks for the time this morning. Should we call it a day? Give 20 minutes back to our friends?
Let's do it.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks to each and every one of you. We'll send this out as a recording as well as some follow-up necessary information. But yeah, you'll be hearing from us often as we prepare for spring.
Any final questions before we say adieu? Okay, it's a wrap.
Awesome. Have a good day, everybody.